So in Insurance Mantra, today I'm joined by Amit Roy, partner and leader at PwC. Thank you so much, sir, for joining our Insurance Mantra. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, sir.
Likewise, Anurag. Delighted to be in your show. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to you and ET Now. I think this is the first of its kind in the world that passionately you guys are talking about insurance, educating the common people on their common language. I think that's really creditable. Thank you very much for that.
Okay. Sir, to begin with, because you can give a neutral perspective about the insurance industry. When we talk about Indian insurance industry and compliance and regulation, do you think that compliance and regulation for Indian insurers are little softer as compared to capital market and other regulators?
Very interesting question. Thanks for starting with that. And this is something which is close to my heart. It would be unfair to compare insurance with, let's say, stock market or any other regulator in the country. Probably a fairer understanding and assessment could be in terms of regulations in other countries on same kind of format, which is insurance, PNC, life, health, all put together. You'd be happy to know that we keep researching and benchmarking our regulation across the globe because that's something that we are paid for, consultants.
Yes, sir.
I'm very proud to tell you this, that Indian regulators have done a fabulous job in terms of protecting the policyholders' right, in terms of providing the right set of regulations to protect the customer. End of the day, a regulator has to play a game in which they take care of the consumer, they take care of the policymakers, they take care of the investors. And I think all the three pillars, Indian regulations, are extremely matured. And I am excited that last 5 years, if you see the pace of changes on the regulation, which is very business-like, supporting business, it's at a different world. I think we have not seen anything parallel to this in any other developed market. So I am quite excited and positive about the Indian regulations for sure.
You're quite excited and positive. But sir, there is a normal perception among Indians because they are not aware about the regulators of insurance abroad or other countries or in developed countries. They keep having they keep saying that we have not seen in last many years the kind of heavy penalties on insurance companies for mis-selling or some wrongdoing. So that is the reason that Indian regulator is little softer as compared to capital market regulator or other regulators.
Anurag, that kind of gets me into another spot where I love to speak about. It's unfortunate for the industry that the weak stories are getting talked about much more than the great stories that we have. First, to your question that are they sensitive about the policyholders' misery or mis-selling complaints and all of that. There are very strict regime in terms of how they look at the complaints and it goes, and there are grievance redressal systems within the companies, within the businesses. Also, ombudsman is there. Over and above that, the regulator's office is there, and of course the consumer courts are there.
Okay.
If you see the way that they are resolving the complaints, particularly hats off to the ombudsman, very fast in resolving complaints, very fast in ensuring that
now there are
policyholders.
Two more layers related to ombudsman, the internal ombudsman, and then there can be an appeal of ombudsman award also.
Correct. You are bang on. So I was coming on to that. If you see these and compare these with any other product that we consume, let's say on FMCG, let's say on consumer goods, let's say if your fridge or TV goes wrong, you actually run miles, from one corner to another corner. You don't get any redressal. Here, if you just send a mail to ombudsman office, there are specific time period. If it is not responded immediately on that, it goes to the next level.
Okay.
I think this is something which is unheard of. And this is something that Indian consumers are lucky to have that.
So policyholders should feel privileged.
Absolutely. And the second part of my point is that in terms of COVID claims, the way the industry responded to that, we should be proud of that. This country actually resolved 92% of the COVID claims within time. And that is fascinating. Nowhere in the world you have such great, footmarks. We give thousands of crores of claims money on a day-to-day basis, but very silently. This is a very silent industry, and I hope that industry make more noise. Policymakers and regulators help them to make more noise on positive
So
stories.
you mean to say that perception of industry is not that great how as compared to the effort they are putting in?
You are from media, you know it better. Sometimes I feel racist stories actually have more eyes to watch than,
Okay.
great stories which should be put as stories. And I believe that industry should possibly, hire some of the greatest storyteller in terms of creating their right kind of state of mind from the consumer angle. That's very important. Industry I know and council I know put together have started a campaign, but I feel
More
that
awareness need to be
but I
there.
feel that is very, very, very predictable. We need new ways to reach up to the new audience.
Okay, sir. Now, sir, what's your take? Because you must be comparing Indian insurance sector with other countries, developed nation,
Yes.
other emerging nations. So, when we talk about the affordability front, insurance for the common people is affordable in India, or it's expensive?
So our cost of risk coverage is one of the lowest in the world.
Okay.
If you talk about, let me take a cohort of health, I would say we are one of the cheapest, in spite of the fact that when it comes to the claim experience, we are one of the worst in terms of, because the disclosures are pretty bad, availability of data and all other things are really, really bad. Sometimes I feel good customers are actually subsidizing for bad customers. I think that with advent of better data, AI and all of that, more transparency, risk premium should actually focus more in terms of identifying the problem lakes faster. So I think affordability wise, insurance is already affordable. I see actually, if you see the Q-commerce has reached to the tier 2, tier 3 cities, a lot of people are spending so much money on Q-commerce, on getting something which is avoidable. Health insurance is something which should actually be a part of your, living.
Daily card.
Yeah, that's getting ignored. It's not really very, very tough. Good part is close to about 65 crores of Indians at a below poverty line, they are covered with Ayushman Bharat, poverty line and below poverty line, which is a policymaker scheme. I think the missing middle is something which has to really invest on insurance. I don't think affordability is the issue. I think we are lucky that way. But I think it's more about creating the right culture in terms of, do we have risk culture in this country? The answer is no. We teach our students, history, civics, geography, but we don't teach our kids about risk awareness or financial planning. So, which is why the other bad story about the industry is, if you look about unclaimed money, it pains me that 24,000 crore was the last reported unclaimed money that this industry has, which clearly shows that know your customer is not enough. The next step should be KYCF, know your customer's family. I am looking forward to that.
Okay, know your customer's family. And sir, when we talk about the trust and transparency, so over the years it has increased, or still lot need to be done on that front?
I think trust is really the big thing that we have to achieve, in terms of a product which is highly intangible. Trust with a capital T is missing, and unfortunately it is missing in the entire value chain. The moment the consumers log the policy, the distributors sometimes actually hide their information from the manufacturers, so there's a trust gap. The moment a claim is lodged, actually the manufacturer looks at the consumer with an eye of lack of trust, There's a problem of trust with the provider. So I think trust gap is definitely there. And I am really hoping that frontier tech, emerging tech actually creates more visibility in this intangible, industry to make more and more of tangibility. Trust is the biggest reason why the awareness is less. If good stories, again and again I am saying, education, good stories, awareness has to be driven by the policymakers. Why can't insurance be included in academia right from the school days?
From class 5th, class 6th,
exactly.
We can have chapters of insurance.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because today insurance is not relevant in a common man's life.
Yeah, agree,
it's
sir.
something which is okay, some banker pushes, some agent pushes, some relative pushes, and all of that, I'll go for insurance, which is really unfortunate. You look at any of the developed countries, insurance is extremely relevant on their day-to-day culture because the cost of the treatment is so high. India is looking at that because we are actually staring at a scary situation that your medical inflation is 14%, one of the highest in the world. If you look at our average age of survival, you just look around the number of people who are actually living till 80s, 90s, and more than that is increasing. And
so need of the hour is there to create more and more awareness.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Now I'll come to sir from industry perspective. And now government has allowed 100% FDI also. So from margins point of view, profitability point of view, how companies are looking at Indian market?
I think the excitement is there in amongst the global player, and that's the positive story about it. A big thumbs up to the industry leaders also. In terms of the challenges, actually, I thank my friends from the industry, the CEOs who, in spite of the challenges, have done good businesses. So there are good stories about this market in terms of how they have grown. India is actually growing with a CAGR which is unheard of, and we are already 8th largest insurance market, looking to be 3rd largest, 4th largest, in another 5 to 10 years' time. The challenge, like you said, is there in the margin. The underwriting profits are not there. So on the general insurance, which is PNC side, that's a big worry. On the health, I believe most of my global friends, complain about bad disclosures.
Okay.
And they are possibly, they have their doubts and all of that. So while the market is good, the acquisition cost, the margin, those are the challenges. So how do you make profitable formula work in this market?
Margin is a big challenge, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So I have, we are short of time, so I have more question, but in some other show. So thank you so much, sir, for
Thanks, Anurag,
giving
for
your
having me.
valuable time and insights, sir. Looking forward for more insight from you in coming days, sir.
Thank you.
So time for a short break now. After the break, in Expert Speaks segment, I'll be joined by HDFC Life COO Sameer Yogeshwar. Stay tuned.